Welcome to Starwatch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next. When an introverted icon like Wang Yibo breaks character and whispers the words honey and baby, not once, but twice, in front of cameras, you know it's not just playful banter anymore. From secret glances to quiet comfort, fans across the world are asking the same question. Is this friendship or something deeper that words can't define? Welcome to Starwatch Now, where we don't just tell stories, we feel them. There are moments in entertainment history when two individuals meet and something unexplainable begins to unfold. Something beyond talent, beyond coincidence, and beyond scripted dialogue. When Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan first crossed paths on the set of the Untamed, no one could have predicted how powerful that moment would become. Not just for their careers, but for the emotional connection it sparked in the eyes of millions. From the very first time they shared the screen, there was a quiet electricity between them. Their chemistry wasn't loud or forced. It was subtle and natural, like two energies that intuitively knew how to respond to one another. They didn't have to try. They simply fit. Whether it was through shared glances, gentle pauses between lines, or the way their characters moved in harmony, audiences could feel something real resonating beneath the surface. But what made their bond unforgettable wasn't just what happened on screen. It was what lingered off it. Behind the scenes, when the cameras stopped rolling, fans began to notice that the connection didn't fade. It deepened. There were candid moments of laughter, quiet support, and gestures of care that couldn't be scripted or rehearsed. The way they treated one another, even in the most ordinary circumstances, told a story more compelling than any drama. It was a story of trust, mutual respect, and a sense of ease that only grows when two people understand each other beyond words. Wang Yibo, known for his reserved personality, often appears distant or emotionally guarded in public. Yet around Xiao Zhan, something seemed to shift. He was more at ease, more open, and at times almost uncharacteristically warm. On the other hand, Xiao Zhan, with his calm and grounded nature, seemed to anchor Yibo in a way that was both comforting and inspiring. Together, they created a quiet balance, a contrast that didn't cancel each other out, but amplified something beautiful between them. What they shared didn't need headlines or declarations. It lived in the in-between, the way Yibo would glance over when Xiao Zhan spoke, or how Zhan would lean just slightly closer during interviews. These small, often unnoticed details became meaningful to those who paid attention. And for fans around the world, they represented something deeply human. The quiet formation of a bond that transcends words, categories, and expectations. Their connection didn't start with a scandal, a publicity stunt, or a calculated media moment. It began with two artists simply doing their job. But somewhere along the way, something more honest and lasting was formed. Something that continues to move people across languages, cultures, and continents. It's rare. It's genuine. And it's precisely why the story of Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan still lingers in so many hearts. Some words carry more weight than they seem to. They may be short, simple, even playful on the surface, but when spoken in the right moment, by the right person, they can shift the atmosphere entirely. That's exactly what happened when Wang Yibo, a man known for his quiet, introverted nature, looked toward Xiao Zhan during a casual moment on set and softly said, "Honey, come here quickly." At first glance, it could be dismissed as a joke. Maybe a light tease between close friends, a moment of banter caught on camera. But for those who have followed their journey closely, who have seen the subtleties of their bond over the years, it didn't feel like just a joke. It felt like something more deliberate, more intimate, and more revealing than anything either of them had ever publicly said. What made that moment so powerful wasn't simply the word itself, but the way it was delivered, gently, without hesitation, without a smile meant to brush it off. It was natural, unfiltered, and perhaps most telling of all, it was followed by silence. No explanation, no attempt to clarify, just the quiet understanding that the moment had already spoken for itself. Xiao Zhan's response was even more striking. His head turned reflexively, as if his body reacted before his mind could catch up. His expression shifted instantly. Eyes widened, a slow, uncontrollable smile emerged, and his cheeks flushed with the kind of emotion that's hard to fake. It was the reaction of someone touched not just by the word, but by the fact that it was said at all. It's rare to see such unguarded warmth between two public figures, especially in an industry that teaches them to shield their true selves. For fans who witnessed this, the moment became a defining piece of the puzzle, an emotional glimpse into something deeper than public friendship. Because when someone like Wang Yibo, who is usually so composed, chooses to use a term like honey, it stops being just a nickname. It becomes a window into how he sees and feels about the person standing before him. In that instant, honey became more than a word. It became a signal, one not intended for the crowd, the crew, or the cameras, but for Xiao Zhan alone. And yet, because it was witnessed, it rippled across the fandom, reaching people from every corner of the globe who saw in that brief exchange something raw, something gentle, and something impossibly human. Moments like that don't demand analysis. They simply ask to be felt. In a world full of noise, flashy headlines, and overexposed relationships, this quiet utterance stood out for what it was. A rare expression of closeness, undressed of performance, and grounded in truth. And for those who heard it, it wasn't the beginning of a rumor. It was the continuation of a feeling already deeply understood. There are certain moments that feel so spontaneous, so delicately human, that they transcend the boundaries of language and culture. One such moment happened not in the quiet privacy of a film set, but under the glaring spotlight of a live global broadcast. During a promotional event for an upcoming drama, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan sat together on stage, two figures composed and polished, as expected in the world of public appearances. But what followed would catch even the most seasoned fans off guard, and perhaps even surprise the two of them. As Xiao Zhan fumbled through an answer to a difficult question, his voice slightly trembling, his expression betraying a hint of nervousness, Wang Yibo turned to him. With a calm, grounded tone that cut through the hum of the event, he said, "Take it easy, baby. I'm here." The room seemed to pause. The atmosphere, once filled with structured questions and planned responses, suddenly shifted. This wasn't scripted. It wasn't calculated or staged for effect. It was instinctive, personal, and impossibly tender. And the word he chose, baby, echoed with an intimacy that defied the public setting it was spoken in. What made this moment so profound wasn't just that it happened, but how it happened. The way Yibo said it, not loudly, not with bravado, but with a softness that felt like reassurance, carried a weight far beyond performance. It was the kind of voice one uses not to be heard by a crowd, but to reach someone's heart in a moment of quiet vulnerability. Xiao Zhan's reaction was equally revealing. He didn't laugh or deflect, as one might expect in a live event watched by thousands. Instead, he looked down, his hands instinctively rising to cover his face. But not out of embarrassment, out of an emotion that had clearly overwhelmed him. A smile tugged at the corners of his lips, the kind that can't be helped, the kind that comes when someone says exactly what you needed to hear without being asked. The host hesitated, unsure whether to move on or let the moment breathe. And for that brief stretch of time, it felt like the rest of the world faded, leaving only two people in silent understanding. It was as though everything around them ceased to matter. The cameras, the fans, the scripted lines. What remained was connection. For those watching, it was impossible not to feel something stir. Not because the word baby had never been spoken before, but because of who said it, how he said it, and who it was meant for. In a world where celebrities often keep their truest feelings behind carefully managed personas, this was something rare. A moment of unscripted care, offered without hesitation. Perhaps it was just one word, but in that moment, it felt like everything. Honey and baby might seem simple words we hear every day in casual conversation, but coming from Wang Yibo, they meant so much more. Because this is someone known for being calm, collected, even emotionally distant in the public eye. For him, every word he speaks is carefully chosen. So when he uses terms of endearment, especially for someone he's worked closely with, It becomes a coded language, a kind of emotional shorthand only they understand. It's not about confirming or denying anything. It's about recognizing the quiet depth of a bond that goes beyond labels. But there's more. Wang Yibo was recently seen wearing a hoodie with the same embroidery pattern as one Xiao Zhan wore in a 2019 fan meet. Coincidence? Droplet when Xiao Zhan had a minor coughing fit during a press conference. Yibo, seated away from him, stood up to pass him water before anyone else did. Headphone and fans noticed that both stars were spotted wearing matching in-ear monitors, an accessory usually customized and unique to each artist. These are small things, but when stitched together, they paint a much bigger picture. A pattern of quiet connection, subtle gestures, and deep care. In many parts of the world, especially across Asia, public displays of affection between celebrities are rare. But what we've seen here isn't about PDA. It's about something more powerful, emotional transparency without saying a word. When fans say, "If this isn't love, then what is?" Maybe they're not talking about romance. Maybe they're talking about a soul-level bond, one that transcends fame, scripts, and fan theories. Because sometimes, a simple honey or baby speaks more than 1,000 interviews ever could. So now we ask you, do you think these affectionate words were just playful nicknames? Or do they hint at a bond far deeper than we're allowed to see? Drop your thoughts in the comments, we read every single one. Speech Balloon, share your favorite moment between Yibo and Zhan. Let's celebrate the beauty of genuine connection, whatever form it may take. Folded hands, thank you so much for watching Starwatch Now, where the stories between the stars shine just as bright as their careers. If you felt something today, even a little flutter in your chest, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a moment like this again. See you in the next video, and until then, keep watching, keep feeling, and keep believing in the magic behind the scenes. Glowing Star.